Hey there, YouTube. So, I just got out of work at the club. I just wanted to come on real quick. I'm gonna try to make this quick as best I can. I just want to see if maybe there's some audio, because the video that I did earlier today, that was an hour and a half long, apparently has no sound, no audio. So that's an hour and a half of my time that I wasted. Not like I don't waste time doing plenty of other things, you know, like people waste time all the time pretty much, but you know, I do put a lot into doing this, or trying to do this channel as best I can, really not knowing what I'm doing at all. And it's rare that, well, these days it's very rare that I'm able to get out, you know, relatively early in the day or the afternoon, because I've been doing a lot of night shifts at the club lately. So yeah, I used to do a lot of day shifts some time ago, but for the past few months or so now, I've been doing primarily night shifts and working till past midnight and not really getting to bed until like 6 in the morning, basically. So, you know, with that, it's been very difficult for me to try to get up for the afternoon to go do things and, you know, try to have some daylight to work with. And yeah, here where I am this time of year, it gets dark at 4 o'clock. So I've been pretty much going into work at the club that I work at 4 o'clock, and that's when it gets dark out. So it's been pretty difficult. I did, you know, my video earlier that I tried to do was an hour and a half, and I did feel like I liked it, or would have liked it, if it had kept the audio. I mean, you know, honestly though, a lot of the stuff that I mentioned has probably been mentioned here before on this channel in previous videos that I've done. I mean, that's gonna happen, that's bound to happen with the way that I do, you know, stuff on here. But hey. So I'm a little bit torn right now between trying to like basically redo the video that I did earlier today, because if this one doesn't have the audio as well, then that would be a whole lot of more time that's wasted. So a part of me wants to try to recap and redo that video, but then I'm thinking, well, I should probably try to just keep this one short as a way to test things out. I don't know. I'm just really tired of being messed with, or feeling like I'm being messed with all the time with things. Maybe it was just a glitch, you know, like that kind of thing does happen, I guess, you know, like with things. But I don't know. I seem to be somebody that has an awful lot of glitches with the things that I try to do. And it is kind of weird too, because at one point in that video that I tried to do earlier this afternoon, an ambulance went by and they had their lights flashing and they had the sirens going. I don't know, I tend to see a lot of ambulances go by, like drive by when I'm parked doing a video. It's something that tends to happen like a lot, I would say. Not every time, obviously, but pretty frequently. And sometimes they have just the lights without the sirens, and sometimes they have both. So earlier today they had both, and I just got frustrated like with the noise, and I said something like, oh, can't you just have the lights? Like, why do you need the sirens too? Like, it's just so loud and like distracting for me. And I don't know. I think I actually heard somewhere that when they have the lights without the sirens, it means that somebody's like not savable. Like somebody's like in such dire straits that they're like gonna die, basically. I don't know exactly, but hopefully that wasn't the case. Well, earlier today they had both. They had the lights and the sirens. So I don't know. It just, around here, it just seems like they just drive by doing that stuff just to do it sometimes. I'm sure that's not really the case, but this is a pretty small town. I don't know. It's just, that just happens a lot, you know, like it really does. Especially when I'm parked at the club. There's no snowstorms today. I don't know. It was just frustrating, but also just because I specifically said, like, I kind of elaborated and I was like, can't we just have the visual like without the sound? And something along those lines. And that's pretty much what ended up happening with my video, is we got the visuals without the sound. And stuff like that just happens a lot for me. Like, it's obnoxious, it's frustrating. I don't know. So just a few little things. I'm not gonna try to obviously like reiterate or re-say everything that I said earlier today. But yeah, I think I would have liked that video if it had the sound. The first part of it, I was just kind of talking about how I was really proud of myself for being able to get up in time to come into the club today, because again, these days it's very difficult for me to get up early enough to do a day shift at the club. But I still like to try to do day shifts on Fridays when I can, because my favorite manager at the club works the Friday day shifts lately, and they're gonna be leaving the club soon. So I'm just trying to enjoy, like I'm trying to do as much of their shifts still now while I can, you know, and just enjoy that as best I can. So yeah, I mean, normally I wouldn't really bother to come in on a Friday day shift, but with that in mind, and then also they had mentioned something last time I saw them, like, oh, see you Friday. And I was just like, well, why not just for it? I just so happened to get up early enough this morning. I wasn't really forcing myself to do it. I didn't like set an alarm or anything to get up early, but I just did, you know, it just kind of happened. So yeah, I naturally woke up early enough in time. I mean, I do a lot anyways, like in the morning, but it's usually just to pee and then I'll go back to sleep. So I was very torn to maybe do that today, you know, but I looked out the window and I saw some sunlight out. It was like a sunny day. So it's been a while, I feel like, since I've seen the sun around here and like had a sunny day and been able to get out in time to really, you know, have some daylight. So I was like, all right, whatever, just go for it. It's been really cold and windy lately, so it's been extremely cold in my apartment. I mean, that's usual this time of year, but just like with the wind, the way my windows are, the wind blows right into them. So it's just been especially cold, and the sun was outside. I was like, let's just try for it. So yeah, I was starting my video off just saying that I was happy about being able to do that, and also that I had been dreaming about my cat beforehand. The cat that I had like very, very, very long time ago. Not recent whatsoever. I was like a teenager when my family had this cat, but I do dream about this cat a lot. I know this really isn't interesting. There's no reason for me to say this stuff again, but I did think it was kind of cute in my video earlier, because I don't know, like I actually, if you just watch the very first part of my video that I did earlier today, I would say within the first 5 or 10 minutes, it was like pretty much right at the start of the video, I kind of started to cry a little bit talking about this freaking cat. And there's just something about that cat. Again, that was a very long time ago. It was a long, long time ago that we had that cat, and a long, long time ago that that cat passed away. But talking about that cat, and then talking about my grandmother, who, my grandmother's still alive, by the way, but you know, she's obviously old and not going to be around forever. So when I talk about my grandmother, and like think about her eventually passing away as well someday. When I talk about that, that will make me cry a lot of times. I'll just start crying. And then also when I think about or talk about this cat that we used to have a very long time ago, those two things will just like make me cry, I guess, sometimes, or very easily. So yeah, I kind of started crying a little bit in my video earlier today, but not like full on, like really bad, just like a few tears. And then it was kind of embarrassing because I looked out my window and one of the floor hosts was standing there smoking a cigarette, and I hadn't seen them or noticed them when I was first starting to talk about the cat, or when I was first starting to like tear up a little bit. And then I looked over and noticed them after I was already tearing up, and my face was red and I had a few tears coming down. And I was like, oh crap, like that's so embarrassing. They're probably like, what is she doing? I'm just sitting here in my car like talking to a camera and crying about my old dead cat. But then I was like, oh, it's okay, like I didn't shed that many tears. It was just like a couple of tears, and then one more came down my cheek, and I was like, okay, so 3. I was like, oh, it's just 1 or 2, and then there was another one. I was like, oh, okay, so 3 tears, big deal. You'd have to be there. You'd have to have the audio with that previous video. I thought it was kind of cute, okay? So I can't really redo it now because it's not the same, and I'm not crying now. Thank gosh. I did honestly have a very bad day at the club today. I probably won't bother to try to keep doing Friday day shifts in the future. It was just a bad day, like pretty much all around. Yeah. Just bad. Oh gosh. So I have this big bag of like very heavy wet laundry. I was able to do laundry. We don't really have laundry back at my apartment, or what we do have is in the basement and very expensive. So they have a washer and dryer at the club, and I've never used it before, but I've thought about it. So today I asked if it would be okay if I just washed a few things, and it was my favorite manager working today, who's very nice, or usually has always seemed that way to me. So, you know, they said yes, and so that was nice, but I didn't realize the dryer in the back. The dryer apparently looks like it's working, but I'm not so sure it actually really is working, because I had my clothes in the dryer after I washed them for a while. I feel like it was over an hour or 2. It was long enough to where they should be more dry than they are. They're not dry at all. And the way they are now, very, very highly damp, they're not gonna be dry for a long time, basically, unless I blow dry them or do something. There's no heat in my apartment, so there's really no way for them to dry very well there. Actually, what I'm wearing right now, this jersey and the pants that I'm wearing, I did wash those, and also the socks that I'm wearing. I washed those, but I took those out of the dryer early, and I just started to blow dry them as best I could in the dressing room upstairs. So most of the clothing that I'm wearing now is actually kind of damp, or not as dry as it could or probably should be. 26 degrees is what my car says right now, so it's cold, you know. But yeah, so the clothes, I actually did wash the clothes that I came into the club wearing. So I tried to dry those with the hand blow dryer, like for hair, is upstairs in the dressing room as best I could before I put them back on to leave the club. But all the rest of the clothing is just, I left that in the dryer, and the dryer just didn't really seem to do a whole lot. So it's just really embarrassing. I mean, yeah, I could go to a laundromat, but they're expensive, and it's so exhausting for me to try to do anything these days, honestly. Like, but I go to the club a lot, I work a lot, you know, and I pay to work there, so it's kind of like, well, they're right there, you know, the washer and the dryer. That was my first time using them, and I probably won't bother to do that again, because again, that dryer just, what I did in the past, one time I washed a shirt by hand in the sink there, which is what I normally do at my apartment. I wash things in the sink by hand. But I washed a top, like a fishnet top, in the sink at the club one time. But what I did that time is, rather than put it in the dryer, I put it on top of the oven. And that actually worked pretty well. So I don't know. This is not that exciting, obviously. I'm really pissed off about my video earlier. That wasn't exciting either, but at least it was daylight, and this is just so annoying. Oh, I was talking about my shift Wednesday and how I was also crying then. Everything in the club was so cold not Wednesday, it was Tuesday night. I didn't work Wednesday. Tuesday night, I did work 10 hours till close. Normally, when I'm not on stage or busy doing something, I would be out back in the kitchen area, like going through my notes, going through my phone, trying to organize stuff, just working on something, or just, I don't know, just trying to do something back there. Talking to people, I don't know. But the entire downstairs of the club was freezing last Tuesday. And in particular, the kitchen was almost as cold, if not colder, than my apartment. Just freezing. Completely freezing. So I just avoided it. I went back there once when my shift first started, and then once I realized how cold it was, instantly I walked right back out of there. Didn't go back there the entire rest of the 10-hour shift. It was so cold. So instead I went upstairs to the VIP area. Upstairs, you know, heat rises or whatever they say. So that's one part of the club that will usually be warmer, although that doesn't include the dressing room, sans the dressing room. The other dressing room, we have a few different dressing rooms, but the one upstairs is like an ice box. A lot of times, not always, but that particular dressing room can get very cold as well. Pretty much as cold, if not colder, than the kitchen was on Tuesday night. So anyways, I just wanted to relax, and we have a nice little like lounge area for part of the VIP area upstairs. So it's not technically a VIP room, it's like where you kind of sign in. It's more of like the lobby area. So I went up in one of those chairs, started to just charge my phone. My phone always needs to be charged, pretty much. And shortly after that, one of the other dancers came up with one of her regulars and started a VIP room. So there's 2 VIP rooms that are in that lobby area, and then there's a whole bunch of other VIP rooms that are behind other doors and other areas that are way off to the side. But of course, they ended up doing their VIP room in one of the 2 rooms that was right there, like pretty much between 5 and 10, but definitely less than 10 feet, pretty much 5 feet away from where I was sitting. So I wasn't going to be awkward and just sit there while they did their room. I'm not too sure if they would have asked me to move or not. I don't think they would have, but obviously it would be very awkward to just continue to sit there 5 feet away from them while they did their VIP room. So I got up and went to the bathroom, which was also in very close proximity. It's just down like 2 or 3 little steps and then off to the side, but it is still very close to that VIP area. So originally I just went in there real quick to kind of like, I always have to pee and whatever, but a lot of times what I would do after that is go down to the kitchen, which I couldn't this time because it was so cold. So my other option to try to just like get a little bit of space for myself would be to go to one of the other VIP rooms that's much further away from that area. It's the newest one that we have, and that VIP room is more like a living room kind of vibe and style. It's definitely by far the nicest VIP room that we have, and it is the newest one. That's the only VIP room that has a TV, and there's actually like video games in there. There's like a popcorn maker. I don't know if it actually makes popcorn or if it's just for decoration, but there is a popcorn maker in there. And the couch that's in there is very different than all the other couches in the VIPs. It's like a big living room style couch. It's like a wraparound suede couch that could fit probably like 10 to 20 people. So sometimes it's very tempting. Like sometimes I'll go in there and just like take a minute and just kind of like charge my phone, just, you know, when I'm particularly tired or on my period or whatever, I'll maybe just sit on the couch for a few moments. But I didn't want to do that this time because the last time that I did that, it smelled like Febreze. And I thought that was kind of funny because if there was any way that if one of the managers or the managers just didn't want me to be doing that anymore, they had never said anything before, but if there was a way for them to like get me to stop going in there without saying anything, it would have been to do that and spray Febreze on the couch, because I don't like stuff like that. I'm very sensitive to smells, and Febreze just doesn't smell good. It smells very bad, and the smell does bother me. And I had a joke that I was saying in my video from earlier today that to me Febreze smells pretty much worse than quite a lot of the smells that it would be used to try to cover up. Not all of the smells, I'm sure, but most of them probably. It just smells bad. With the exception, one of the exceptions I can think of is quite a few of the guys that I've encountered in the club. Unfortunately. I could have just not said that part again, but it's too fun and too funny for me not to. Being a stripper is tough, okay? As is a lot of stuff in life. I need some comic relief. I'm not trying to say that in a mean way. I'm trying to say it in a joking way. I don't always smell that great either. Like, I have a hard time trying to do laundry. I have a hard time trying to do pretty much anything, okay? So this is just meant to be in good fun, and I'm just trying to joke around a little bit, like, whatever. Not a big deal, or it really shouldn't be, but but also it's so true what I just said. Okay, anyway, what else? So yeah, I felt like I couldn't go in the kitchen, and I felt like I couldn't go in that other VIP room because the couch just smelled too Febreze-y. So I was in the bathroom trying to decide where else I could go to just like try to get some space and like have a moment for myself, like charge my phone, not be freezing, etc. And I just ended up like sobbing pretty much instead. I didn't want to stay in there because, again, it was still very close proximity to where this other dancer was doing her VIP room. And a lot of dancers, when they do a VIP, will try to, like, you know, when they talk, it'll be like kind of quiet and like a sexy voice, like kind of whispering, kind of like their indoor voice, like. But luckily for me that night, the dancer that was doing her room was not so much like that. She was kind of a loud talker, but that was like perfect for that time, like with what was going on with myself. So yeah, she's just a little more boisterous with how she like says things, and a loud talker, and kind of seems to talk a lot. So I felt really awkward being in the bathroom. I could still hear a little bit of them, not specifically what they were saying, but I could like hear their general voices like a little bit here and there. And so I didn't want them to hear me like crying. So I kept, every time that I was like sniffling and like blowing my nose, I kept trying to time it to where she was saying something. But again, luckily she talks kind of a lot, so she was doing that a lot and talking a lot, and that worked out pretty well for me, at least with trying to not be heard sobbing in the bathroom. I wasn't like full on sobbing, but I am pretty much just a big crybaby. So sometimes I was so tired and just so cold. That was another bad shift. I have a lot of those. You know, like, I was so tired that I wasn't even going on the pole pretty much at all that night. Like, I would normally try to go on the pole, like, all night long or as much as I can, but I'm just so tired of how slippery it is, and just in that kind of mood lately where it's like, I'm just over it, you know? I'm just over all of it. Just so what's the point, you know? Like, it's such a losing battle, it feels like, everything. Just such a constantly losing battle for me. So I feel very defeated, honestly. Which, you know, not that, like, a few shifts, like last week, I think, or very recently, I was going upside down on that pole wearing 2 corsets, like a corset like this, like a real corset, like with steel boning, and also another like piece on top of that. So 2 corsets pretty much. I was going upside down like all night long like that. But then, you know, I'm just like still trying to like recuperate or recover from that now. I don't know, what's the point? You know, it's like nobody cares. Like, okay, whatever. Like, okay, I don't know. I'm just really feeling and then with my YouTube earlier today, that didn't help. You know, it's like, I feel like I do so poorly at the club. So my YouTube has kind of been like one little thing to try to like give myself something to focus on and look forward to and try to put some energy into that I could try to feel like I was doing okay with, you know, like having some kind of shred of success with. But now it's just like, I don't know. The more I talk on this one, if this one doesn't have audio, that would really, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Like, what am I gonna do? I guess, I don't know. Just, I'll have to definitely, obviously, if I keep trying in the future, I'd really have to try to keep them a lot shorter. Like, I literally just have to do like a 5-minute video. I don't want it to be an actual short. So I think for it to not be a short, it would have to be over 3 minutes, but like 5 to 10. That's so obnoxious to me though. Like, what's the point of that too? Like, just, oh, hey, I'm just coming on to do just a test run and make sure this works. Like, that's no fun. If I did a video like that and it did work, I'd just want to delete it anyways, because what's the point of a 5 or 10 minute video that's just like testing it out just to make sure the audio works, you know? Like, I don't know. But maybe it was just a glitch earlier. I really have no idea. So yeah, I was crying in the bathroom for a while at the club last Tuesday night. That was pretty early on in the shift. And shortly before that happened, one of the bathroom attendants had come up and mentioned that they had just restocked the paper towels. So, I don't know. I get kind of creeped out about there being a bathroom attendant, like, on such slow nights, because I don't know, like, I mentioned it to my mom one time, and a lot of times when I talk to my mom about stuff, she just kind of like makes me feel worse about things than I already do. Because when I mentioned it to my mom, she was like, the club wouldn't be paying somebody to just stand there for 8 hours when it's so slow. Which, yeah, I don't know, that does seem kind of weird. Because in the past, it would be the managers that restock the paper towels or the toilet paper or the soap and that kind of thing. So it's like, it seems like when they get there, they basically just like go back to the kitchen and get like extra soap and put it in the bathroom, and maybe put like mints in the bathroom for the guys, or like cologne or something. But pretty much the entire 8-hour shift, other than that, they're just kind of standing like in the corner, like staring at the stage, like, or sometimes they're not even standing. Sometimes they'll just sit on the speaker, one of the big speakers near the stage. And then like I'll see guys go into the bathroom and I'll see this person like not go in the bathroom, like, which I would think they're a bathroom attendant, wouldn't they want to go in there and like offer them a paper towel or offer them a mint or cologne or whatever? But a lot of times lately, yeah, I'll see customers go into the bathroom, and rather than this bathroom attendant going in as well, they'll just continue to sit by the stage on the speaker. So yeah, I don't know, it does kind of make me uncomfortable, although they have been nice to me before. But like when they're saying something to me, they have a smile and they seem nice, but then when they're just standing in the corner or just sitting in the corner on the speaker, their face seems very serious, and they're kind of dressed like a minister almost, or like an exorcist person, like they're like there to like, I'm like, are they here to like exorcise us? Or, because I know for me personally, I definitely already get a lot of exercise usually at the club. It's like why I go there. But you'd have to see it. You'd have to be there and like just sense the vibe. The whole vibe is very, very weird and awkward to me. And when I mentioned it to my mom, she kind of said that. She was like, why would the club be paying somebody to just stand there for 8 hours? But yeah, when they have spoken to me in the past, they've been pretty nice, I guess, and smiled. So that night on Tuesday, this past Tuesday night, before they went into the upstairs bathroom to restock some stuff, they had like given me a heads up. They were like, oh, I just want to let you know I'm going to be going in the bathroom to restock, to check the paper towels or whatever it was. And I was like, okay, thanks for the heads up. And in the moment I kind of was like, all right, whatever. But then later when I went in there and I ended up sobbing shortly afterwards, I reached for those paper towels that they had restocked, and I remember thinking, well, I'm actually really glad they restocked these paper towels, because I was sitting on the sink while I was crying, and I didn't feel like getting up off my ass off the sink to go get toilet paper to cry into. So all I had to do was reach over, and the paper towels were right there, and I didn't even have to get up, which again, I really didn't feel like doing at that time. So I don't know. Tuesday night really sucked ass, and today really sucked ass. So it's been pretty bad lately. Nothing new there, but oh gosh. So this is my paper from earlier. As you guys can probably see, maybe a little bit. I have everything that's crossed off is stuff that I mentioned in my video earlier this afternoon. So I'm pretty much just trying to re-say most of what I've crossed off, aka what I've already said from earlier today. At least I didn't say everything on this paper earlier. Although you would want to think with talking for an hour and a half, I should have been able to do that. I talked for an hour and a half earlier and I only got half. I actually technically didn't even get halfway through this paper. Which is kind of ridiculous, but then again, what isn't when it comes to myself? Yeah, okay. I literally, that was right there at the bottom of where I stopped crossing things off, was about that. And then I don't think there's anything else that I said through the rest of this. There's a little bit towards the bottom that I mentioned, but I don't know. I'm just really annoyed, honestly. I just want my video from earlier to have audio. Like, it's an hour and a half that I spent doing it. Like, I want to keep talking now. I mean, the thing about now, this really does suck, because usually when I'm doing my videos, I'm fighting against the daylight, or I'm fighting against the darkness. I'm trying to do my video in a time span where it's still daylight. Granted, I can barely get out in time to do that. So I'm trying to do my video before the sun sets completely and before it's pitch black out. And also it's usually right before I have to go into work, and I'm trying to go sign into the club, which if I sign in past a certain point, it costs more. So, because we pay to work there, so past a certain time point, it's going to cost even more than it already would have. So right now, I would like to just be able to keep talking because it's already dark and I'm not having to go into work. So this is one of those times where if I felt like, you know what I mean? Like I would like to be able to just keep talking, but if the audio isn't going to work on this video, then that's just more wasted time. So it's like I just can't seem to win with anything pretty much. Like it's damn. Oh. Also though, in my video, I just remembered in my video earlier, on that note, in my video earlier, I went into the club to sign in, like maybe halfway through the video, or I don't know when, but I went into the club to sign in at noon because I didn't want it to be past that time to where the price would increase. And I didn't want to pause my video or end my video. So this was the first time that I've done that, where I took my phone with the YouTube still going, like I was still doing the live, and I went into the club with my phone in my hand and I signed in. And then I went back out to my car and just resumed my video, like it was still rolling the entire time. But, you know, like there's music playing in the club, obviously. So I remember I was like, oh gosh, like I hope I don't get a copyright or some kind of issue because of having like an entire 5 to 10 seconds of a song playing in the background. Because in videos that I've done here in the past, any kind of music whatsoever, even if it's like 2 seconds, the second the digital AI or whatever picks that up, it's like a huge issue, you know, like there's all kinds of like weird stamps on your video, like copyright and like this and that, and it's really freaky, honestly. Like especially since I'm not trying to make money off of my videos or this video, or this is just a hobby for me, my YouTube. It's not like supposed to be a big deal. So it's kind of like, you know, I'm not trying to claim that 5 seconds of that song that just so happens to be playing in the background, like. But I did mention that too. I was like, I hope that's not going to be an issue. That would be so weird if that was like one of the reasons too. The entire thing is just like randomly muted. That's such bullshit. What isn't though, really? So yeah, I mean, there's still more on this paper. There's still more on so many other papers that I want to try to say, but it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'll do some videos after work in the future, because I feel like the lighting with this really isn't that bad. It really does suck trying to rush all the time. Oh, and also I do really have to pee right now, you know. So if the audio does somehow miraculously work on this video, then yeah, in the future maybe I could just try to do some videos after work. It's just harder for me to do them after work because, especially like today, I just did a quick little day shift. Well, it wasn't even that quick, but usually when I do night shifts lately, those are 10-hour shifts. And not only that, but usually I'm gonna be working again shortly after that. Like I'll get out after midnight, rush back to my apartment, get maybe a few hours of sleep, and then I'm just trying to rush right back in to do another shift and still trying to get there by a certain time in the afternoon to do the next shift back to back like that. So I just can't seem to make anything really work very well for me. I really just can't seem to figure anything out still. Probably not ever will that happen, apparently. Doesn't seem to be likely to happen for quite a while to continue. I don't know. It's been this way for a while. Yeah. But so I don't know. I'm just gonna save the rest of this paper, or try to. I really want to wrap this up in case the audio doesn't work. It's already almost 45 minutes. Yeah, I guess if the audio doesn't work in this one, I'll just try to do a couple more videos after, like testing 1, 2, 3, just like 5 minutes long. But I don't even think I could do that just for 5 minutes. I'd just end up talking about some random crap, probably. But I'm gonna try my best. I'm still gonna try my best. So my shift today, though, just before I wrap this up, just for my shift today, a quick little recap. It was very bad. And there's this one dancer that's like the skinniest person I've ever seen, pretty much. So I don't know. She's been kind of nice to me in the past. Like, I used to get weed from her, but I don't smoke weed anymore. Or like, I'm on a tolerance break for it now. But ever since I stopped buying weed from her, she's been not, like, not mean, but just like not as like fake nice, or I don't know. Just, I think the manager does this on purpose too. The manager will always put her on after me because she's one of those dancers. She's pretty much the only dancer besides myself that like really likes to go on stage. But for me, it's like I like to go on stage pretty much anytime, regardless if there's customers or like people by the stage or not. With her, it seems like she mostly likes to go on stage just when there's customers there, like when she thinks that she's going to make money from guys at the stage. So I don't know, it just worked out really bad timing for me today, to where like I would be doing my thing where I would just be on stage for extra time just to like stretch and do my thing. But then lo and behold, after like a long time of me doing that and covering for other dancers that didn't want to go on, one lone guy would come out of the woodwork somewhere and actually come up to the stage, eventually, finally, start to tip me some dollars. And that's always the exact moment where this other dancer wants to come on, or she's being called on, or I don't know. I feel like even the manager was like kind of doing stuff in the DJ booth to where when that started to happen, it was like calling another dancer. It was just a bad day. So she came up. She was doing a lap dance when her name was called. I was on stage at one point and her name was called, but she, at that same time, she ended up going to do a lap dance. And she obviously knew that I would cover the stage because I do that all the time. So I stayed up there for a few more songs. And then eventually she comes back out from the lap dance room when she was done with her lap dances. And by this point, I've already done like so many other songs that I don't even know if it's still technically her turn on stage or not. But of course, like she just comes right back out and comes right up to the stage, and she starts to say kind of rudely, she's like, "Tinka, it's my stage." Kind of like as if like I hadn't been up there the whole time, you know what I mean? As if she hadn't been in the lap dance room like busy or something. She was saying it as if I like came up when her name was called, like I hadn't already been up there. So, and also at the same time is when a guy finally came up to the stage with dollars in his hand. So I didn't try to like be rude or like fight it. I was just like, yeah, okay. I got off the stage. But so that was the first time. But then later on in the shift, it was still my turn. This was much later on, towards the end of the shift. It was much later on, and I had 3 songs. We normally do 3 songs during the day. And she was in line after me, like in the rotation, how the DJ board was like set up and calling the names out. So her turn was going to be her turn after me, but I was on my 3rd song. So after the 3rd song, in between me and her, there's a break song in between anyways. But this wasn't even the break song. This was still my set, and this was the 3rd song of my set. So she comes up. I think that it was one of those times where, again, a guy had just started to come up to the stage. So she comes up to the stage and she starts to say in like that kind of rude voice, like that it's her stage or her turn. And I'm just like, no, like it's not. This is still my set, because it was that time. Like that time it was definitely still my set. So she started to raise her voice to me again. Like she continually kept saying like, Tinka, it's my stage. And the first time earlier when that happened, earlier in the day, I didn't raise my voice. I didn't say anything. I just got up and got off the stage, because that time was more like debatable. Like that time was, I think, would have been her turn if she hadn't been doing a lap dance. Whereas this time was definitely still my turn. This was still my song and still part of my set. So when this happened the second time and she still was raising her voice and being rude about it, I raised my voice too this time, and I was like, no, it's not. This is my set. Like, freaking wait a minute. Like, you're gonna be on in another song or two. It's not your turn yet. And I tried to, normally I don't get like that. Normally I'm kind of a pushover and I'm like too nice. And normally I don't raise my voice to people, and normally, but again, this was the second time this has happened, and she was raising her voice towards me and just being pretty rude about it, you know? So, I mean, I have to try to stick up for myself as best I can, right? Like, I don't want to just always be such a pushover. So she did just kind of like back down off the steps, like off the little staircase that leads to the stage. But she kind of like made a comment to one of the other dancers around the stage. She was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, just being kind of dramatic about it. But sure enough, like after that song was finished, the speaker, like the DJ board said, like, that was your 3rd song with Tinka. Then they said the break song, and then, so there was still a song in between her and I after that anyways. So it was definitely still my set when she had been trying to come on. She's just, I think, one of those people that's used to getting her way, you know, like, so, you know, good on her. I wish I could say the same about myself. For me, it's the opposite pretty much. So, you know, anyways, so later on, I'm upstairs in the dressing room. This is when I was trying to blow dry some of my clothes that were still damp from the washer. So I was like blow drying my socks and like, I don't know, just this outfit that I'm wearing, basically trying to dry it. And this other dancer, I think it was the one that she had made the comment to, like, oh my gosh, she comes into the dressing room and she's on her phone at first, and then she hangs up her phone, and she was like, just so you know, if you ever yelled at me the way that you yelled at, she said this other dancer's name, I will kick your ass. And I was like, again, normally I would kind of just like not say anything or just try to like diffuse it as best I could, but I think because I had the blow dryer in my hand and the blow dryer was very loud, the blow dryer was already being loud, so like the vibe in the room was already loud with the blow dryer. And I'm pretty sure that's why. I can almost guarantee if I didn't have the blow dryer in my hand and if the blow dryer wasn't going, I probably would have just like shrunk back and been like, okay, sorry. But again, because I had the blow dryer and it was just like on high and it was going really loud, I just kind of like said back to her like pretty loudly too, almost kind of yelling because she was kind of yelling at me. I was like, you know, it's not your business. Like, that wasn't anything to do with you or I. That was her and I. So mind your freaking business, basically. And I don't know. Then she said something else. Something about me dancing like a robot. Which I've always thought, the concept of a robot stripper, I always thought was pretty funny. Because they say like AI is taking people's jobs like left and right, I guess, this day and age. But then there's like this thing I've seen on Facebook where they have like the robot stripper, which I always thought was kind of funny. So I'm not too sure what she meant by that, but I didn't really have a comment for that one. I was like, okay. But what else did she say? Then she said something like, she was like, if you just did this or that, then maybe we would like you or something. And then she walked out of the room. So I didn't really have anything to say to that either, because she walked out of the room. But I was just thinking, you know, like, this is a strip club. I'm not here to be liked by you anyway, you know, or like by the other dancers. Like, I'm here to, well, I should be there to make money and to try to get the guys to like me, but I'm honestly not even there for those reasons. I'm there to get a workout, and that's about it, really. I'm there to try to get a workout and to try to do something with myself besides sit on my ass back at my apartment. Like, that's just me. That's just me clearly being a loser, but I'm pretty open about that, you know, being a loser. But you know what? I'm proud of myself for, again, normally I would just like not say anything or like apologize or be too nice in that kind of situation. Like, I'm very shy. I'm too nice usually, kind of a pushover. But I didn't realize it at first, but I'm pretty sure now, thinking back, it must have been the blow dryer. Because the blow dryer just has that vibe where it's just like, almost like a vacuum cleaner, where it just sounds loud and angry. So I think I was able to like feed off that energy of the blow dryer and just like raise my voice. Because I kind of had to raise my voice to get my voice heard over the blow dryer anyways. If I hadn't had that blow dryer, the situation would have gone much differently, I'm pretty sure. But I mean, also, why would you threaten to kick somebody's ass when they have a blow dryer in their hand? Because I mean, a blow dryer can be a very defensive thing. Like, bitch, don't fuck with me. I got the blow dryer in my hand. Thank gosh I had that blow dryer in my hand. If I didn't, again, it just would have been so different, I bet. Like, I would have just started to cry, probably. But I had to use my big girl voice to get it to be heard over the sound of the blow dryer. Okay, I'll stop saying that now. Of the hair dryer, am I calling it the right word? It's a blow dryer, right? My clothes are still damp, by the way, and it's 26 degrees apparently is what it says on my car thermostat. It was such a bad day today. I'm never doing a Friday day shift again. Oh, shit, crap. Another thing, I didn't even have this written in my notes, so I don't want to forget this. Shit. Oh, that's so frustrating. Oh, man. Oh, God, I don't want to talk about this now. I'm already almost an hour. Oh, God. Another thing, I have to write this down because I did want to mention this too. I didn't have this part written down, but this is something that came from my Tuesday night shift. This is not from today. This is from Tuesday. Crap. I got into this quite a bit in my video earlier that got muted. But on Tuesday night, I had my tarot cards read. I mean, that probably wouldn't be interesting to anybody else. However, it's very interesting to me because I've never had my tarot done before. I've never done that before. I've never had my tarot cards read ever before. I'm writing this in big, bold letters. So I was very nervous to do it this past Tuesday for the first time. And I don't know if this is how they always do it, but she drew 10 cards. Or no, I drew 10 cards. I was the one that did them. And the first one that I got was storm warning. So I started freaking out like a small child. And I didn't like that. But then there were 9 other cards, and I swear to God though, all of the cards I did resonate with, and they seemed, I saw a lot of myself and a lot of like meaning, how they related to myself and my situations and my existence, etc. I really resonated. I really like understood a lot of the cards that were there, pretty much all of them. And and it did start to snow later that night. So I was thinking, I was like, well, how literal of a storm warning is that card? Because please don't be that literal, because where I am, we already get enough of those. We already get plenty of storms, especially this time of year. But it did start to snow later that night when I was leaving the club, and I was just thinking, like, I hope this is what it meant. It wasn't really an actual storm. It was just kind of like an inch or two, not even an inch. It was a very light dusting of snow. So it wasn't, I don't think it technically would have counted as a storm, but it was snow. So because it was snow, I was like, I hope that's what that card was referring to, although I highly doubt it. But anyways, okay, so the thing that I really wanted to mention, all the other cards, like whatever, yada yada, I did take a picture. And I remember saying to her after too, I mentioned that I had started a YouTube, and I was like, oh, I kind of wish I got this on video. But I did take a picture of the cards. Obviously I didn't get it on video, but the last card that I drew, which she said was like the overall, it was the one that was on top of the rest of the deck facing up. So I asked her what it meant, and she said it was like the generalized, like overall thing. That card said victory. So my first card said storm warning, but my last card said victory. So, and I kept saying to her too, I was like, I just kept asking her about that one. I was like, no, what about that card? What does that one mean? Like that card, that card, that card. It's like, can we just ignore all the other ones? I just want to focus on that one card that says victory. And so she didn't really talk too much about that one like I wanted her to, but she did say that it was like the overall generalized card. It was like the generalization of the whole thing. That was the one that counted the most, I want to think. Oh, and then so originally there were 10 cards, and then the one in the top right corner said all tied up, and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of kinky. But like, I was asking her a little bit more about it, and she was like, or I wasn't even really asking her that much about that one, but she was kind of concerned about that one, and she wanted to try to figure it out a little more. So she had me draw an 11th card, and the 11th card that I drew was attachment. And immediately when I saw that, she put the attachment card right next to the one that said all tied up, like they were supposed to correlate. And I immediately understood, like it just clicked into place for me so much, because I do have attachment issues. And that's part of the reason I came into work today for the Friday day shift, because of my favorite manager who's gonna be leaving soon. So I was like, I just have to let go of this emotional attachment that I have. I'm pretty sure that's what that meant. Or regardless, I've always had attachment issues to one thing or another, a person, various people, where it's not reciprocal in the past, bad habits, things, yeah. But she said the way that the card was placed, I would eventually get over that attachment issue that I have. So that was good, I think. Why is everyone else allowed to be attached to things or people? It's just me that's not allowed to be attached to people. I have to do everything by myself all the time. Everyone else can be as attached as they damn well please. It's so annoying. And I'm still attached to my dead cat from so long ago. I still dream about that cat so often. Not every night or anything, or every day, because I normally sleep during the day. If this fucking video doesn't have sound, I swear to God, I am so sick of this shit. I am so pissed off about this shit. This video is already in over an hour. And I don't care if I say the same things over and over again. People do that all the time. And you know what? People do that all the time in life, and it's not even on video half the time, or most of the time. It just floats away into thin air. So, you know, at least I'm trying to get some of it on video. This is very frustrating. If this video doesn't have audio, I'm going to be very upset. And I will need to figure out a way to contact YouTube, which apparently I don't think there's even a way to do that I've been able to find so far in the past when I've had issues. But I will need to find a way, because that's just not right. People put work into this shit. Like, I know I do. I mean, counting earlier today, that's 2.5 hours. And oh my gosh, the store. I'm not at the club right now. I'm at the grocery store. So I haven't gone inside yet though. They're about to close pretty soon. In 40 minutes, which for me is pretty soon. A part of me, before I left the club earlier, a part of me was almost wondering if I should try to stay for the night shift, because it's been so long since I've done a Friday or Saturday night, and I used to do them from time to time. And when I used to do them in the past, I would amaze myself, like some of the stuff that I would somehow be able to do on stage, like the crowds, when there's all the people around the stage, like the crowds and stuff. It freaks me out. It gives me the butterflies and the anxiety, but it's kind of like one of those things that makes you feel alive. And it's just such a risk, you know, like it was such a risk to like try to put on a performance at that time, like I like to do. But even not that long ago, even in my like later 30s, which I'm in now, but again, not that long ago, I would be doing that stuff to where I'm like, how am I still able to do this, you know? But it's like the crowd just like brings out this side of me where it's like, oh my gosh, and I can just put on this performance sometimes where I'm just like, damn, like how do I do that, or how did that happen, you know? So a part of me kind of wanted to stay tonight, and I didn't see the smoke. When I left, all of my clothes were still wet in the dryer, so I was like, well, maybe I should just stay longer and have my clothes dry a little more. And yeah, a big part of the reason I don't do Friday or Saturday nights anymore is because they'll have the smoke stuff a lot of times that I'm very allergic to. Like, it really makes me very sick. And they don't use it sparingly. In the past, when I've seen them use it, it's like a lot. Like, they flood the place. It's just constantly going all night long, pretty much. So, but it wasn't on. I didn't notice it when I was still there earlier tonight, which was about 7 o'clock, 7:30 maybe. So it was into the night shift, and the night shift DJ was there and had already started his shift. So yeah, I don't know, I hadn't seen it at that point. I didn't notice anything like that had, you know, at that time. But it's very difficult for me because it's very unpredictable. It's predictable in the sense that it's usually going to be more so a Friday or a Saturday night kind of thing. But I've actually also seen this stuff used other nights throughout the week in the past. The shifts that I've been doing lately, I don't want to jinx it, but I just never know when it's going to be there. I never know when it's coming. I never know when it's going to be on. And especially since I pay to work there and I don't actually make very much money, if any money, like actually being there on shift, it's very frustrating. I just never know when they're going to have it and when it's going to be there, when it's not going to be there. Sometimes they'll have a hiatus from it for a little while. Other times they'll bring it back randomly. Sometimes they won't even have it for the weekends though. Like sometimes they won't even have it for Friday and Saturday nights. It's always changing. It's never really a consistent thing to where I really can't predict how it's going to go or how it might go. And there's already so many other factors of working at that club that are like that, where it's just, you can't really predict anything. I never know how many other dancers are going to be there. It could be 50 other dancers. It could be 5. It could be just me. It's been just me on a shift before sometimes. You know, it could be a lot of customers. It could be none. It could be some customers by the stage tipping. A lot of times it's none. It could be a whole bunch of that smoke stuff. It could be none. It could be a little bit. It could be, it's just all over the place, you know? And then there's the weather here all over the place. You know, there's all these constantly changing variables. And yeah, I know that's how life is a lot of the time with like a lot of stuff, but just especially so, you know, like at this particular club, the way that things are there. And it's just, you know, paying to work there, I would like to have more of an idea or more of a feel, get more of a gist for how a particular shift might be as far as certain variables and certain factors that really affect me a lot. If I have a really serious allergy to something, which I do with that smoke stuff, then that's pretty much a make or break kind of thing for a shift for me, especially paying to work there. So it's like, you know, and it's also, it's awkward to try to ask somebody there, like, who do I ask? Do I ask the DJ that's doing it? Do I ask one of the managers? The managers are always changing around their shifts. I don't know who to go to and ask, oh, is there going to be this smoke stuff used for this particular time frame, for this particular shift? It's an awkward thing to try to ask. And also, I don't even know who I would ask in the first place. Because again, it's always changing. It could be this manager, it could be that manager, it could be this DJ, it could be that DJ. It could be the manager choosing to smoke or not, it could be the DJ choosing to smoke or not. It's just, I feel like I never really know anything when I'm there. So it's pretty stressful. But you know what? I don't want to say it wouldn't be as stressful as me not having audio in this video, but if there's no audio in this video, that would be getting up there to as stressful as that, because yeah, it's pretty much a nightmare for me being in that club a lot of the time. So my YouTube is supposed to be like a nice little outlet for me to have, and I don't know why there wouldn't be audio in my video from earlier, except just to mess with me. So many things just seem like they're just to mess with me. If that's really the point, if that's really the purpose, then that seems kind of shallow, doesn't it? That seems kind of... If somebody has that much power and ability to affect things, why not put it to better use? Why not actually get some shit done with that in a good way? Like, that just seems like such a shallow, kind of pointless way to fuck around for no good reason. Maybe it was just a glitch. I mean, YouTube gets glitches just like anything else, you know, like shit happens. I don't know. But an hour and a half video is kind of a bad time for it to happen. Although, you know what? There were some things that I said in that video earlier that probably weren't that good for me to say. That happens a lot too, but don't think it was anything too bad, but there were definitely like people like walking by in the parking lot that I made comments about. Not bad comments though. Like I didn't think they were bad in the moment, and I still don't even think they're bad now, but I don't know. I just never know like what to think. Anyway. Well, and now I'm wondering too, if this video doesn't have audio, it looks like people have been watching. So I wonder if there's audio like in the current while it's actually live. Like I'm wondering if the audio would be while it's live, or like earlier if there was audio for the live part but maybe it just didn't post. And now thinking about that, I'm like, well, maybe it's just the people that want to have their comments. Maybe this is just a way for people to try to get the live comments back. Because if I had the live comments, then somebody could tell me at the bottom, typing their little live comment, whether or not I have audio or not. But honestly, fuck that shit. I would rather have us both muted than have to read that shit. No offense. But yeah. It's like it's either going to be both of us saying stuff or neither. I'll choose neither. Honestly. I don't like the live comments. I really don't. And I've had some really bad ones. Like very like bad. So unfortunately that ruins it for everybody else, I guess. But also I think it does slow down the videos too. When I've had the live comments before, it's led to like interruptions and choppier stream quality and stuff like that. So I don't know. But it says there's 5 people watching this live while I'm doing it. So why would there be 5 people watching it if they can't hear what I'm saying? If it was just one person that just wants to watch me like miming things, then that's one thing. But for 5 people to want to watch somebody with no audio, that would be kind of weird, I would think. So I would want to think that there would be audio for this now, like while I'm live streaming it. It's just like, well, is it going to post in the actual video once I put the video up? I'm wondering. Questions. I can smell the laundry so much. I asked the manager how much laundry detergent to put in the washer. Originally I had like half a cap and they told me to put a full cap. I was like, are you sure? I was like, are you sure it's not going to overflow? And they're like, no, it's fine. Later on, when I went back in the kitchen, there was water all over the floor. I didn't see suds though. I didn't see suds like coming out the top of the machine or anything. This is a very small washing machine. It's not like a regular one. It's like a compact, like small one. So I didn't see like water actually pouring out of the top of the washing machine. I didn't see suds coming out the top, but I did see like clear looking water. I don't think it was soapy water, but I saw like clear water all over the floor at a certain point, like later on after it had been going for a while. So, but my clothes smell very strongly like detergent now. So that's nice. But I have, oh my gosh, this is like soaking wet, you guys. This is my favorite club dress and I have it on the dash of my car where the heat comes up when I have the front heat on. I was hoping it would start to dry and I don't think it has started that process very much yet. So, like at all. They were in the dryer. My clothes were in the dryer for quite a while. Like I don't think the dryer is actually working. It was making sound and things just aren't working today apparently. I don't know. My video wasn't making sound, but the dryer was, but the dryer nothing felt warm in there. So I don't think the dryer had heat, but it said that it did. Oh my gosh, the car that just drove by, it looked like the car that belongs to one of the dancers that I was referring to earlier. The one that kept trying to come on my stage. She drives a BMW, and I'm in this little shit box. Oh gosh, I'm so embarrassed, like all about today and just like everything about myself. What a bad day. Not like I don't have bad days all the time, but holy crap, today just really sucked ass. And it's so embarrassing, like trying to do laundry there at the club. I don't know. At least I tried to stick up for myself. At least I tried to do laundry, blah, blah, blah. I climbed the pole a fucking couple times or whatever. I don't know. Whatever. Well, okay, so the store is going to be closing pretty soon, and this is 76 minutes long. So hopefully it fucking has audio this time. If not, fuck me. Then that's really gonna suck a lot. But then probably for the better, because I just make an ass out of myself on here anyways. But not for the better, because fuck that shit. That really would suck. So, God. It's so cold in here and I've had the heat on the entire time. Oh, it's because my clothes are still wet. My clothes are still very damp. Yeah. I am going to go grocery shopping now. Ooh, and make all kinds of wrong choices, apparently. I don't know. I never know what to get for groceries. A lot of times I'll just get the same things over and over, but that can only I can only do that so long, and then I'm like, okay, like what else can I get to like switch this up a little bit? Because clearly the things that I get over and over aren't working either. I just get like the cheapest version of anything I can find, like carb, protein, fat, or basically just popcorn. Like cans of fucking tuna, I hate to say. Really depressing, just the cheapest shit I can find, basically. So I'm like, all right, let's try to switch this up somehow. But then when I do that, that never seems to go well either. So more trouble than it's worth for sure. Like so many other things in this world. God. Well, anyway, I am going to go into the store regardless because I'm here and I'm gonna try to figure out some things to get, and I have to pee. So on that note, I'm gonna wrap this up and peace out for now. And if anyone that was watching, it says there's still 5 people watching. I don't know if that's real or not, or just an illusion, just messing with me more. But if anybody watching this now hears the audio, maybe leave a comment to let me know that there was audio for the live part of this. Hopefully the whole thing posts with audio later after the fact, but I don't know. We'll see. To be determined or to be discovered? What the fuck are you looking at? The guy just looked at me weird. Anyway, I hope you guys I hope you guys are well. And I'm so glad I got to come back on and try this again tonight. But yeah, peace out for now. Gotta go pee. You know what's so funny? When I started this video, I was like, it's okay, I'm gonna be able to keep it short because I really had to pee when I started this. And cause I kind of rushed out of the club. Because I get really anxious, like not knowing when the smoke might be coming on. I mean, there wasn't any when I was there and when I was heading out, but again, I never know when it could be coming. And I just wanted to get the F out of there at that point, you know, so before it got all smoky again, maybe. I didn't know if it was going to be getting smoky or not. I never do, really. So I get very anxious about it. And I kind of told myself like to try to pee before I left the club. But then I was like, because I knew that maybe I would want to do a video. I didn't even know at that point if I was going to do a video. There's some kids like running across the parking lot. But then I was like, oh, it's okay. You don't need to bother to pee because that'll just help you keep your video on the shorter side. The more you have to pee, the more it will help you to not have your video be too long. And I've had to pee so bad this entire time, and that still didn't work. This is still 80 fucking minutes. Holy crap. That's only 10 minutes less than my video earlier. My video earlier was an hour and a half. My video earlier was 90 minutes. This is 80. That's a 10-minute difference. That's not good. All right. I apologize to myself mostly, but also just to everyone and everything in the whole universe, and mostly myself, because I have issues. I have some issues for sure. Real ass actual issues that I don't know how to resolve or even begin to try to figure out how to work on. I try to work on them, but I just don't know how. I'm a problem child. I hate to say it. I don't want to be. I desperately do not want to be. I want to fix things instead, but anyway. Problem child of the universe, apparently. For now. Hopefully that'll change someday. Anyway, I hope you guys are well, and that's all for now, apparently. Finally gonna wrap this up. Bye for now. Good night. And cut. Oh my God. There we go.